Consistent reading and writing gives you consistent, precise results. Let's pay attention to language a little. Not decorative language, emotional language. The words we use to describe what's happening inside us. Most people don't lack feelings, they lack vocabulary. We say I'm stressed when we might mean disappointed. We say I'm fine when we mean hurt. We say I'm tired when we mean overwhelmed or unappreciated. When you can't name an emotion accurately, you can't work with it clearly. Mark Brackett, who researches emotional intelligence, talks about the importance of emotional granularity, the ability to distinguish between similar feelings, the difference between irritation and resentment, between sadness and grief, between envy and admiration. Language creates clarity, and literature is one of the richest training grounds for emotional vocabulary. When you read a novel, you're not just following a plot, you're observing interiority. You're watching how a character experiences jealousy, shame, longing, relief. Take The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. The emotional landscape in that novel is not simplistic, it's layered. Desire mixed with fear, tenderness braided with social tension. You don't walk away saying that was bad. You walk away sensing something more textured. Or consider the poetry of Kamla Das. She doesn't just write about love, she writes about hunger, exposure, defiance, vulnerability, each with its own shade. When you read writers like this, your inner dictionary expands. You begin to realize what I'm feeling isn't just anger, it might be humiliation, it might be rejection, it might be betrayal. That distinction matters because one anger demands one response, betrayal demands another. Now, here's where journaling becomes essential. Reading introduces the vocabulary, writing integrates it. When you sit down for your daily page, try this simple shift. Instead of writing today was stressful, pause, ask, what exactly was stressful? Was it pressure, uncertainty, embarrassment, or comparison? The more specific you become, the calmer your inner world feels. There's research from James Penbaker showing that expressive writing, especially when it includes emotional labeling, improves mental clarity and even physical health. The act of translating feeling into language organizes the experience. Unlabeled emotion feels chaotic. Name emotion feels manageable. And reading helps you recognize emotions you didn't know you were allowed to feel. For example, many people say, I feel jealous. But literature might teach you the nuance between envy and longing. Envy wants what someone else has. Longing reveals something you deeply desire for yourself. Those are different emotional directions. When you refine language, you refine self understanding. And this doesn't mean becoming overly analytical, it means becoming attentive. When I reread certain books at different phases of my life, I notice my vocabulary changing. A scene that once felt romantic now feels possessive. A character I once thought confident now feels insecure. The text hasn't changed. My emotional awareness has. That's the quiet power of reading slowly and writing consistently. We are living in a time of accelerated consumption, fast content, quick reaction, simplified emotions. Everything becomes either amazing or terrible. But real emotional life is not like that. It's subtle, and literature resists simplification. When you practice one page a day journal, you're building something rare, emotional literacy. Not for performance, not for sounding intelligent, but for understanding yourself with more honesty. Tonight, try this. Read a page from any book. Notice a line where a character feels something complex. Then, in your journal, write, what is the most accurate word for what I am feeling lately? Don't write the convenient word, the accurate one. If you can't find it immediately, that's okay. Search for it, sit with it. Let reading guide you. Over time, you'll notice something beautiful. Your conversations improve, your self awareness deepens, your reactions soften because you're no longer overwhelmed by unnamed emotion. You're in dialogue with it. Reading shapes your emotional vocabulary. Writing stabilizes it, and together they make your inner world more navigable. If you're building a life where books are not just consumed but integrated, stay here. This is what we practice, one page a day, one precise word at a time, one feeling at a time. And slowly, your language becomes clearer, and so do you.